Hello everyone, and welcome again to some great possibilities using apps and certain web-based applications with cell phones and tablets and even with browsers. This video would focus mostly on Quizlet. I've been using Quizlet for a long time now. Quizlet is a great tool to create and also to find vocabulary cards, vocabulary card decks for your various courses and classes for your students. Okay, even for your own professional development. So this is a really wonderful tool. This is the home page, and great. There are apps for both iOS and for Android devices. It also works great on Chromebooks, works great on Macs and on PCs. And again, you can do your simple Google sign-in, especially if you're a Google Apps Education account. Easy just to sign in with your Google credentials, which is so nice. So let's sort of like walk it through here. So once you sign up, you can create a free teacher account, and I'll just actually go to the page where I'm already signed in. Now, I have a lot of card decks, and I've been using this for a long time. But let's just look at creating an actual study set. So if I just want to create a set, okay, I can give it a title, test set. All right, great. I can add a description to it. It's optional, certainly. You can change the visibility. Not everybody can see it. Only I can edit it. You can actually change that. You could import a whole Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets sort of into your Quizlet setup here, which is nice. If you have a bunch of terms in a spreadsheet, you just want to import them in, great. And you can also now add images, which is awesome. You can also even add your own voice. So you can add a voice recording of either defining the image or even defining the term, or even adding other information to an image or a term. Really neat. That's actually a fairly new feature, which is super awesome. I would love to go back through all my card decks and just have my own voice read it, but well, it would be a long project, so we'll see about that. So I don't know, I'll just type in a term, George Washington. Okay, great. Now, you have this here. It's English, yes. Okay, and now you have the definition. So I'm going to choose English, which is really good. Okay, which is super nice. And now you have this great little feature here, which is auto-define. So you can press auto-define, and this will go through all the past Quizlet users of all the various definitions that have been in here. Okay, so if you find one that you really like, I think it's good enough for your own students, you can actually use one. Or if you'd actually want to put your own definition in, you actually could. Okay, so I can do this. Yeah, I like that. Great. Fine for now. And then if I had an image of George, I could quickly just go ahead and grab that. So here we'll go. We'll try to find an image of George Washington, which is really cool. You can search all the Quizlet images of George Washington, all right, which is super awesome. So if I wanted to pick one of those, this is really interesting. Or I can upload my own image, okay? But I had to upgrade to add images. So unfortunately right now I didn't upgrade it. I used to have the teacher account, and we'll come back to that. I actually let it expire. I'll tell you the reason why, but hold on. Okay, so there you go. So let's pick this one. And now we have this little image of George Washington, and how awesome is that? And I guess I want to do a little recording. You have to upgrade to the teacher account to also record your own voice. Which is a little annoying, but that's fine for now. Great. Okay, and we created our first little card deck. Okay, so we're not going to create any more. And I think it's all just saved. Okay, so if I go back to my Quizlet feed here, I guess, so here's my little test one, and there it is. Okay, so pretty awesome. Easy to kind of get your hands on it, and easy to make a card deck. Okay, which is super nice. Okay, so let me show you some other ways I actually use this though, because I've created classes, and even the free one, you can create classes. Okay, so you can add a class, you can give it a name, which is really nice. And now, like all my classes, let's go to some of the classes for this year, have all the card decks that I've created for that particular class. Okay, so I use this a lot, obviously. So we get to the early colonies, and I have all these different decks that all these different terms that I've created. Okay, and now when students actually see it, if they go to the web, they can study as a flashcard set. Okay, and you can flip the card, right? It'll just flow, or you could turn that off to back to flip. You turn the audio on, and it will actually read it to you, which is kind of nice. It'll give you both terms at the same time, or just a definition. You can shuffle through them,
found at the colony
or you just play it. It'll kind of go through it,
and offered
kind of like its
religious
own
freedom
little
to all
slideshow.
Christian
And press
colonists.
play and kind of go through it all.
People who could not afford
So there's all these
passage to the
different things that you can
colonies
do
could
with this,
become
right?
indentured servants.
Which is
Another
super,
person would pay their
really
passage,
nice.
and in exchange,
so
the
all
indentured
that said and
servant
done,
would
what an
serve
awesome
that
tool.
person
Now
for a
let's
set
go back to
length
the
of
top.
time,
Now
and
you
then
want to
would
do the learn game, okay, which is really kind of neat. Now they have to actually type it in. You can see they get a correct answer, okay, and your students kind of do all this. The speller, it's more of obviously like a spelling game, okay, where they have to actually kind of, type what you hear, which is interesting, right? So who this is, right? Pretty cool. Or generates a test. Now this is kind of nice because you can actually print the test out and give it to your students, right? So you can decide what kind of questions you want. Do you want definitions? How many questions do you want? And it generates a nice little test for you. All right, the actually can give as a paper test, or you can copy and paste these, which I've done, into like an online test generator, and you can give it to your students even online or as a review, which is really kind of cool. The scatter game is really nice. You start the game, and you have to actually match the term with the card. Okay, so you match that up. This disappeared. What is mercantilism? Is it over there? Okay. Oh, there it is. Joint stock company. Is the Virginia company? Boom. Right. European government policy. Mercantilism. Right. I'm getting that one wrong. I can't find mercantilism. I'm trying to move it around. All right. But that's kind of the way it actually works. All right. So kind of a really neat kind of game, and then it keeps statistics of how well you did. Or you could do sort of a space race in class, okay? And that's how it works as well. So a lot of versatility here of how you can actually do this, okay? So kind of back to what are some other options here. Right from the tool section, you can actually edit, which is super nice. You want to go back in and edit your actual list, okay? You can add a card deck to a class. If you already have a class, you can add it there to it. You can add to a folder if you want to organize your cards. There's always a great share screen. You can share in Google Classroom now, which is super awesome. That's actually brand new. So if you're a Google Classroom user, if I click on this, it will bring up my Google Classroom feed, which is super awesome. Am I signed in? I should be signed in. Oh, no, I want to sign in as somebody else. That's my personal Gmail. So I want to sign in as my working Gmail. That's going to take a long time to log back in. So I won't do that, but it will actually bring up my Google Classroom feed, and I can insert it right into my Google Classroom, or I can share it with someone via email, or there's the link right to the page, which is super nice. But I like this the more. Okay, you could combine decks. You want to do like a big review deck. You can copy a deck. But I like the embedded, and I'll show you that. You get an actual embed code you could put into a blog or a website, and now the actual little mini previewer screen will actually come up within your site, which is super awesome. And I'll show you how I actually use that. Okay, so that's really super useful, right? So there are some great ways you can actually use Quizlet. Now, again, students can go right to the website, or they can go to the app on the phone, and they can kind of scroll through the decks, and all those sort of things will appear right on their device, which is super useful. Now, there is a teacher version. I think it's like $25 for a year, and you do get enhanced audio. You can add your own images, which is really super useful. Okay, and you can also track student progress. I did have that in there last year, and basically it shows you when a student goes through a whole entire card deck, or it shows you when a student does the scatter game and things like that, which is nice. Excuse the bell ringing, which is super nice. But the problem was, I noticed, and this is actually a true story. I was in the library one day, and I was just doing some walking around, and I saw a student on my other computer. He didn't see me, and he was going through my slide deck. Whoops, sorry. Let me get out of there. He was going through my slide deck so quickly. So let's just say you do flashcards, right? So he went on this.
The first steward
and all I saw this kid do was this.
Systems,
super fast. Boom, 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 boom.
These were designed to favor the interests of common farmers in the Chesapeake region in order to lessen tensions between small farmers and
student X.
grantees.
Oh, they went through every single term. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, that's horrible. So I was looking for some other things. I've contacted them, like they should give like a time, some sort of time reference, how long they were on a deck, how much time did they spend on it, so you really know a student went through it. So like any good teaching, you have to put in ways to make them accountable. So again, if I did like online quizzes, or I threw it, an impromptu quiz in class based upon these vocab terms, then students obviously felt more inclined, unfortunately, to go actually into the deck and actually study it. Okay, so that's something to actually think about. Okay, now let me show you my Schoology page. So I made a folder for content outlines, vocab quizzes, and so forth. So if I go to there and I go to my vocabulary sets, rather than having students have to go to Quizlet, since I'm not using that feature this year, the teacher feature, they can click on right here, and the slide deck is starting over. Okay, because that was when I was on. How funny. Now they can go right from Quizlet, from Schoology, they can go through a card deck right on
seeking a free
their
place, political and the
Schoology
governor
page.
of the
I
Dutch
embedded
colony
it.
of New
So I embedded
Amsterdam,
the code
hated by
right
the
in there,
colonists.
and they can actually
They surrendered
choose
the
from what
colony
kind
to
of
the
game they want
English
to
on
play.
September 8,
So as I was telling you,
1664.
if you go to your actual deck that you create, you go to More, you get the embed code. And I just pasted that embed code onto my Schoology page. I think that's super awesome and super useful. Again, I'm still not sure if I want to invest in the $25 to buy the teacher version. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But there's a lot of great free functionality here as well. So I hope that helped. Hope that was useful. And have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.